5, 9. Today we're going to be talking about measures of central tendency, or basically mean, median, and mode. So basically measures of central tendency is a number or numbers that represent the entire set of numbers or entire set of data. So first of all, the mean. So let's review this. The mean is the average of a list of numbers. So basically you add up all the numbers and you divide by the number of numbers in the set. So you've done this several years now, so this should be becoming a little more familiar to you. The median is the middle number. So think median, middle. The middle number in a set of ordered data. So first you have to collect all your data, putting it in order from least to greatest or greatest to least, and then finding the number in the middle. Mode, think of the word most to link that to it. The mode is the number or numbers that occur most often in a set of data. So you look at all of your data and see if there's a number that keeps repeating over and over again. Alright, when do we use the mean? So if you're given a problem, a word problem, or a chart of data, how would you know when is the best time to use the mean or the average? So basically you use it when the list of data has no extreme values. So in this example, we have 80, 85, 81, and 88. They're all very close together, so that would be a good example to use mean because they're so close together. Now, a non-example, so if you saw something like 2, 50, 51, 55, that would not be a good example to use the mean because you have that 2. So think of it as kind of like mean is average, like how I calculate your grades. So if you got a 2 on a quiz, you wouldn't want that averaged into your score because it would bring it way down. So if anything is going to bring you way down or way up, then you won't want to use the average because it won't be a good accurate depiction of your list of data. Okay, when do you use the median? So you use the median when the list of data has extreme values and there are no big gaps in between the values. So basically you can have extreme values, you can have a low one or a high one in the list, but you don't want to have a huge gap in the middle. Because if you're looking for the number in the middle, you don't really want a 50 and then a 2 and you have to find that number in the middle because that really isn't a good representation of your data. So a good example to use the median would be 40, 70, 69, and 75. If you look at the 40, that one is a little bit lower than the other ones, so you wouldn't want to use mean, but they're pretty close together, and if you looked at the middle of the data, they're not too far away in the middle, if you made them from least to greatest. A non-example would be if you use 20, 21, 25, 45, 46, because close to the middle of your data, you have a gap. So that would not be a good example to use the median. Okay, lastly, when do you use mode? Or looking at which numbers occur most. So basically when the data has many repeated numbers. So if you see a number over and over again, there's a good chance that you should be using the mode. So an example would be 15, 20, 15, 15, 26, 30. Obviously you see that 15 occurring over and over again. A non-example would be if you had 10, 15, 12, and 11. Obviously because there is no number repeating, so you cannot look at the number that's occurring most. Alright, let's go ahead and look at our first example, okay? So let's go ahead and start off with this list of data. We have 101, 203, 142, and 114. Alright, so first I'm going to go ahead and find the mean of the data. So I'm going to add them all up, then divide by 1, 2, 3, 4. So add them all up, then divide by 4. So we have 101 plus 203 plus 142 plus 114. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and add them all up. So we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then we have 4, 5, 6. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 560. Now I'm going to go ahead and divide by 4. So 560. So 4 goes into 5 one time. 4 minus 1. 6. How many times does 4 go into 16? 4 times. It goes in evenly. We'll get 0. Bring it down. How many times does 4 go into 0? 4 times. Or 0 times. So our mean is 140. Alright, now we need to go ahead and find the median. So in order to do that, we need to put them in order from least to greatest, or from greatest to least. So I'm going to go ahead and order them right here. So my smallest one is 101, my next smallest is 114, And then my next smallest is 142. And my next smallest is 203. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and find the median or the middle number. So if you're going over, you'll realize that we have two numbers in the middle. So you're going to have to remember what you've done before in the past. So if you have two numbers and there's no actual middle number, you need to find the average of these two numbers. So I'm going to add 114 and 142, add them up, divide by 2. So I'm going to find a little place to do that on the side. So I have 114 plus 142. So we're going to have 652. So I'm going to go ahead and divide 256 by 2. It goes in one time. 2, 0, 5. How many times does 2 go into 5? It goes in twice. So 2 times 2 gives you 4, minus, you'll get 1, 6. It goes in 8 times. So the average of these two numbers, which will give us the middle number, median, is going to give us 128. I know my work is really small here, but you can go ahead and watch it again to hear the process. Now we're going to go ahead and find the mode. So I'm going to look up here at our set of data and see which number appears the most times. And here there is no repeating numbers, so our mode is that there is no mode. So here is our answer. The median was 140. We added them all up, then divided by how many numbers there were. So this one plus this one plus this one plus this one divided by 4 because there are 4 numbers. Then we found the median by putting them in order from least to greatest, and then we found our way to the middle. And since 2 of them are sharing the middle, we found the average of those two numbers. So we added them, then divided by 2. So there's our median. And then our last one, mode, we looked to see if there was any numbers repeating, and we saw that there are none. So there is no mode. All right, let's go ahead and look at number 2. Here's our set of data, and we're going to find the mean, median, and mode. So first we're going to start off with the mean. So it's the average, so we're going to add them all up and then divide by how many numbers we have. So I'm going to go ahead and add 40 plus 51 plus 22 plus 40 and plus 21. All right, let's add them up. We have 4 here. We have 5. Let's see, we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17. So we have 174, and we're going to divide by 5. So 174. It's not going to go evenly, but that's okay. Divided by 5. So 5 goes into 17 about 3 times. We're going to get 15. We're going to subtract. And then 17 minus 15 is going to give you 2. We're going to bring down our 4. 5 goes into 24 about 4 times. We're going to get 20. Bring down our 4. So now we're going to have to keep going though. So we're going to have to add a decimal here. And I'm going to have to put a 0, bring it down. And this number is 40 down here. You can't see it. 5 goes into 48 times. So our mean is going to be 34.8. We found that by adding up all of our numbers and dividing how many numbers we had. So I add them all up here. And then I divided by 5 because there are 5 numbers. And I realized that it didn't go in evenly, but I added my decimal place and I kept going. So put a decimal and bring down your 0 to keep going. And then I got 34.8. Now let's go ahead and find the median of the data. So we're going to have to first order our data from least to greatest and then find which number's in the middle. So my smallest number is 21. Then I have 22. And then 40, 40, and 51. Alright, so let's go ahead and find the middle number. So let's start on the outside and work our way in. And we see that our median is 40. Alright, and our last but not least, we need to find the mode, the number that occurs the most times. So I'm looking at my list of data, and I see that there's only one number that repeats, and that number is 40. And it's listed 2 times in the list of data. So our mode is 40. Alright, so here are all 3 answers. Okay, let's go ahead and transition a bit. We're going to look at 3 examples over here, and each of these examples we're going to choose which one is the best to use. The mean, the median, or the mode. Okay, number 3. We are given a chart, and basically it's the average temperature per day. And so I see, let's look at our numbers. We have 84, 83, 89, 90, 91, 85, and 80. So first of all, let me see, do any numbers repeat? because that would tell us if the mode would be good to use. So none of my numbers repeat. So I know that mode would not be the best for this list of data. Now I'm going to look to see, is there any really far number that throws off our data? So basically, is there a number that's really, really high up there, or is there a number that's really, really low that would throw our average out of the water? So I see we're in the 80s here, we're in the 90s, we're in the 80s. So no, there is no number that really throws us off. So the median probably wouldn't be the best to use. So really, we want to find the mean, or the average, because we have a list of numbers. They're all pretty close together. There's no numbers that repeat, so that would be the best to use, the average. Okay, let's go ahead and look at example number 4. It says a store recorded the numbers of customers that come in each hour. So first, let's go ahead and look at our list of data. I'm going to first look at, okay, do any of the numbers repeat? Because that might tell me if the mode would be good to use. So I'm going to just start there. Okay, I have 86, 71, 79, 32, 86, 88, 86. Okay, that's something to keep in mind, that it might be the mode because there is a number that repeats 3 times. Now let's go ahead and look to see if there's any numbers that really throw you off the average. I see that 32 is pretty low, so that would really bring down our average of almost 80s, 70s, and 80s. And then we have that 32. So we know for sure it's not the mean. And so since when you're looking at the median and the mode, it looks like the mode would be the best to use because 86 is repeated more than 2 times. So I'm going to choose the mode would be the best for that list of data. Okay, let's look at our last example. We have the following quiz scores. So we have 80, 70, 10, 91, 80, 82. First of all, I see that 10 right away. And I see you would not want to find the average of those because you'll have the average of basically the 80s and 90s, and then that 10 here. That would bring your average, which you really want the middle number to be up here because this is where most of your scores are. But because of that 10, it's going to bring you down here. So since even though most of the scores are up here, your average will be pulled down because of that low grade. So we do not want to use the mean. We do not want to find the average. So now let's go ahead and think about the median and the mode. So if I would have listed the numbers from least to greatest, we would have 10, we would have, let's see, 70, we would have 80 twice, 80, because it's repeated more than 1 time. We will have 82 and 91. So listing them from least to greatest, let's see what our median would be. If we started here, we'd start going in, and we would see that we're sharing 80. So if you added 80 plus 80 and then divided by 2, you would be left with 80. So the median is 80. And then the mode is also 80. So I would say that either the median or the mode would be good to use. Since they end up being the same answer, it doesn't really matter which one you choose because both of those will give you 80. So really work on understanding the different types of problems. Start looking for those keywords like which numbers showed most. Think about if there's a number that really throws off the average.
Alright, you have one problem to do for me, but it has several different parts. So let's go ahead and look at the bottom. Let's look down here real quick. It says the number of books sold during the past week is shown below. First, you're going to have to tell me which measure of central tendency would be the best to use, and tell me why. So tell me what was that key element that told you which measure of central tendency to use. Number 2, then you're going to find the mean, median, and the mode for that list of data, okay? So you should have 2 parts, and you have to have it all completed to get full credit tomorrow in class. All right, good luck.